An amazing day, and if you traded, were very successful today. I wanted to first off apologize for yesterday's video. I was super tired, and I just went way longer than I expected to. I never want a video to be that long. I'm going to try to make today's super quick. I'm just going to go over my analysis and the trades I would have made and the couple that I did make on the S&P 500 E-mini futures for Tuesday, May 13th. Real quick, before I get going, I had a bunch of stuff going on today. I had to actually install some solar panels on a roof. So I was able to trade the morning. I didn't really take any trades. And then later in the afternoon, I was able to make a couple trades and make a couple points. But I'm just going to quickly dive into the day, give you guys my hypotheses, my thoughts, and the trades that I wish, or I think the best trades of the day, basically. And I'll just walk you through everything. One more thing before I get started, all credit to Al Brooks. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know this method. His trading course will be in the comments below. And, I give all of my credit to Troy H for teaching me this strategy. If it wasn't for him, I would have never started trading in the first place. So thank you, Troy. And one last thing, this is price action. As you guys know, if you guys don't know what price action is, go watch a video. Don't waste your time here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So the day opened up with this really weird doji bar. Then I had a quite little push up. I was just watching this. I've said it before, but I don't trade in the first 30 minutes of the day. So I was watching it and analyzing and kind of thinking some things through. Once it got to 10:05, bar 8, I had already seen two pushes up. One, two, bar 8. But this is 4 bar channel. A lot of them closing near their highs, 4 different micro gaps. And I had the hypothesis that this probably had an 80% chance to getting a second leg. And I want to walk you guys through the 2 second leg. So it had this slight pullback here on 9, which I wish I would have bought. And if I would have bought this pullback, I would have ripped up for at least 10 points. At the peak, I could have made 15 points. So that was one trade I thought that would have been really good. Because as you can see, it has another huge micro gap, and this is kind of climatic bar. So you would think that maybe this would get one more leg up, but it already has 2 pushes. And it might have another leg up with it, which it kind of does, kind of a weird leg up later, non-symmetrical. But being able to catch this little pullback on 9 after this 4 leg microchannel, I think you have a very high probability of getting this bar and could have made the whole entire day right there. So then it goes kind of sideways, and I marked this out because it tries to break through the high of 9 on 10, tries to break through on 12. I thought that this maybe could have been the second push up. As you can see, this is 32 point-ish. 16 through 19 is about 12, so not exactly half, but non-symmetrical leg up. And it tried to test this high again, tried to test this high, so it could have been 1, pullback 2, complicated pullback 3, or it could have been 1, pullback 2, pullback 3, kind of sideways trying to push up. So I kind of thought this was a very good indicator. And another thing I thought right away, and it isn't really part of my system, but I realized that right when I thought today was, it started off bullish. I thought it was going to be a bullish day, and I thought right when it saw a bar closed above this high, it was probably going to get a second leg and go a little higher, and that's what it did. But like I said, not part of my strategy. So 22 closed above, and I thought about buying it, but not part of my strategy, so I stayed away. But after 23 kind of fails a pullback and still closes above this high, you could have gotten in right there and made a quick 5-6 points. So as you can see, it kind of resets this leg count, pushes through the high of the day, the close high of the day, and then a slight pullback, and then a second leg up. And then, as you can see, I kind of marked out that had this bear or bullish channel up, and it breaks through the channel. You could always trade out of a channel. It's something I worked on for a little while, but I just wasn't feeling it today. I didn't want to take that risk. I wanted to wait for the perfect setup in the system I'm working on right now. So it pushes down here, pull back, pushes down again. And then it kind of just bounces across, this very big line of resistance, or whatever you want to call it, kind of bounces right here, and then it gets another push up. But I didn't love this. It was a good pullback. It was just long tails, and gets another push up. So hypothetically, you know, if this was a good pullback kind of into that 33% range, you could have bought the close of that. I wouldn't have, but you definitely could have, or you could have waited until you saw this go up a little bit more and made about 8 points. So I kind of just looked that this was going sideways. I was waiting for a really good breakout again, and this was probably one of my favorite trades of the day was right here. Um, 46 pushes up. I feel like 41 through 45 resets the leg count, and then 46 is a breakout bar, and it gets a slight follow through. Not the best bars up, but it has a micro gap. It has these tick gaps, which are these little green things. I didn't discuss that, but a tick gap is still just a momentum indicator. So tick gap, micro gap, two pushes up, and it gets this weird, super weird doji bar that tries to pull back and it fails. So it's confirmation of pullback failure. And if I hadn't left by then, I would have, if I hadn't left to do that job, I would have bought the closer right here, would have went up 5 points and a quick scalp trade. Definitely nothing, I don't think you would try to be going for 10 points because this is breaking above the high already. I think it's just a quick 5 point trade. And what I've been learning a lot and seeing a lot recently in the market that sometimes you can make 3 trades a day and they can all just be 5 points. You don't always have to go for 10, and you can make a lot through doing that. And then you get a reversal push down. And I'm not sure if I would have taken this, but I just was looking through this today and I saw, two pushes down after a good climactic bar up. This could be enough for a trend reversal. It's nothing too crazy, but it's 5 points. And you get this push back up, so you kind of think it's dead. But I think once this pushes through and gets to the point where this is breaking through the close of this pullback or the close of this bar 51, you could have sold right there, expecting it to go a little bit lower, maybe even try to test this line again, like you can see it kind of did. Tried to test that on 55, and you could have made another 5 points. And I think once you saw this micro gap open up too, and the slate continue to go down, you could have just sold, made a quick, 3 to 5 points, and then it goes sideways again, kind of just bouncing. Doji bars, nothing too crazy. And then this was a really good Fibonacci push up. So 3 pushes up, micro channels, some tick gaps, a good 10 points up. So not a huge crazy mover, but definitely could have a second leg. Hasn't really done anything sideways. Definitely a breakout. And you can see this by measuring Fibonacci, kind of gets to this perfect in the 30 to 55% range. You could have sold, or you could have bought the close of 68, not waiting for confirmation, and could have made another 5 points. I personally wouldn't have, but it is a trade you could have made. And then actually, I did make that trade. I don't know why my arrows aren't up, but I did make that trade. I think I bought down here. I think I bought this pullback on. I think I saw this 3 push up after this, thought it was a breakout. I don't know where my arrows are, but I bought the somewhere in here on 67 and then just got out really quick for just a quick 5 points. So yeah, barely hit my 5 points right there and just got out a quick scalp. Thought it would push up a little bit more, but it goes sideways. And once again, I don't know where my arrows are, but this was the second trade I made, and I know it's a little bit later in the day, and I usually don't trade, but you get these huge 3 pushes down, and yes, this is very late in the day, and yes, it isn't the best trade of all time. But like I said, I hadn't traded, and I finally got back to my computer, and I saw this, and it was a little sketchy at the end of the day, but I was okay being up 5 points. To lose those 5 points and be break even on the day, just because I hadn't been super locked in on the computer today. But I saw this huge push down, and the end of the day has been doing this a lot recently, and yeah, over about 17 points with a huge micro gap, and this really closed on its high. This closed near on its high. This wasn't a bad bar to start off with. So 3 big pushes down to touch this line. I thought it was probably going to try to break through. So I bought this pullback, this implied pullback, and made 10 points here. So it hit my take profit somewhere like right in here. So, not the most ideal trade. I usually don't trade that late in the day, but it was a good, push down, implied pullback, second leg to end the day. Um, yeah, but I was trying to be super quick today. I hope everybody had a successful day if you guys traded. Thank you for tuning in. Please let me know in the comments down below if you guys want me to go more in depth on anything. I always feel like I'm missing something, but thank you guys for listening. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. And once again, huge shout out to Troy H. He's the man. And Albrecht's course will be linked down below if you guys want to check that out. Thank you.